If I had a horse, a big, wide, flashy horse, I wouldn't be the kind of guy that I appear to be. Well, I'd be different, or I'd be better, a hero right down to the letter, and all them pretty women would be after me. 'Cause I'd be Tom Mix, I'd be the Lone Ranger, I'd be John Wayne, I'd be the tall dark stranger. I could ride into danger, 'cause I'd be brave, of course.
Good morning. Howdy, GCS families, Grace Christian School families, friends and loved ones. I'm so glad that you are tuning in today. This is the weekly roundup, and this is where we share everything that's happened at Grace Christian School, is happening at Grace Christian School, and will be happening at Grace Christian School. I am your host, Sheriff P, and I thank you for joining me today as we go through a lot of important information that will be very helpful for you. Hey, if you've been tuning in for any amount of time, you know one of the big things that we have been talking about is trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I am happy to tell you, because of your help, we just broke 1,000 last week. To be exact, we're like at 1,005, and YouTube is going through their processing. We need to get that up to maybe 110, 115. So if there's any invalid accounts, we're able to completely stay live once we're able to go live. And I'm anticipating next week they should throw the toggle on us, and we'll be able to do that. So I encourage you, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do that. It helps us. We use this channel not only for information, but for also emergency. I'm getting a lot of clicks this morning. Debbie, good morning. I'm one of our faithful watchers every week. And Do Kim, yay. Yes, yay is absolutely right. I was very excited. So was the entire staff that we hit the 1,000 mark. It seems like it was very slow, and then all of a sudden it just happened out of nowhere. You know, another important thing I want to tell you is it's important to watch or listen to the entire show. You don't necessarily have to watch the entire thing, as long as you throw it on your seat and you can listen, because there's important information throughout the entire show. You may not have something that's important to you right now, but what we talk about at the end might be important. And I just wanted to share that with you. Vanetta, yes, go, good for 1,000, absolutely. We did that, and that's because of all of you. Justin, good morning. Thank you, Christy, for the email reminders. Yes, she does a great job when we go live. She puts that out there. One of the many things that she does here to help our school run great. So with that being said, I think all of you have probably received this email. The PST drive is going on, and it is being very successful because of all of you parents. You're getting signed up to support PST. Gina, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for signing up or signing in this morning. But PST drive is going great. A couple new things that we did this year. We have that QR code that you're able to go right on, register, and then you're also able to pay on Venmo for your membership drive. One important thing I want to remind you about Venmo, that is only for the PST drive. It's not for tuition. It's not for Spiritware. It's not to pay lunch. That is only right now for the PST drive. If you've made a payment there, there's a good chance it might get reversed back to you. It's for accounting reasons and the way that we have this account set up through Venmo. So please only pay PST drive through that, and we greatly appreciate it. PST's done a great job. They've got a banner out front with how the classrooms are doing, which classes are in the lead, and everything like that. You also probably have received this email, and there is a PST meeting coming up in the park. And if you look there, it tells the time and everything. It's on Thursday, the day of our in-service. And you may be asking yourself, why is a PST meeting taking place in the park? We have our great campus that we could do it on. The reason for it is you can make the choice to go to the PST meeting, and it's off-site. I know many of you go to ballparks, sporting events, and things like that, but we do not have parents on campus right now in bulk. And in order to respect that, that's why the PST meeting is being held off campus. Sean and her team are putting it together. You're welcome to come. You don't have to come. We will get the information out to you, but it's a great chance to meet some of the other individuals and be able to sign up to help the school. Now, if you can't go to the meeting and you want to help in some way, pstpresident@gcsrr.org is Sean's email address, and she would love to hear from you. We're always looking for volunteers to help. PST does so many things. They help with Red Ribbon Week. They help with teacher appreciation. They help with the first week of schools. You name it. PST is like one of our arms as we're able to do things here on campus. So if you want to get out to that meeting, that would be great. Planning on joining Sean tomorrow morning. Great, Debbie. I'm sure she's looking forward to it. You know, another thing I kind of want to talk to you about that isn't on my script today was Carline. And the reason for that is Carline, we're putting a lot of cars close to a lot of people in a short amount of time. And our teachers do a wonderful job of trying to police that and keep everybody safe. Parents, I'm pleading with you to please help us keep your kids safe and keep you safe. There's a crosswalk on the far east side of the campus. You need to use that crosswalk in the morning and after school when cars are coming through Carline or dropping off. And the reason for that is it makes it easier for people to see. The last thing we'd like to have happen on our campus is someone get hit by a car because a parent didn't see you. So whatever you can do, please use that crosswalk. Please listen to the staff members who are out there for instructions on how to go through. And let's just take a step back a little bit when we're going through and be a little calmer. We've already reviewed a lot of the rules, and I don't think it's necessary to do that anymore, but please use the crosswalk for your safety and everyone else. Sean, our PST president, is joining us, and she says, I'm very excited to meet all of you tomorrow and the returning parents and new parents. So that is taking place tomorrow at the park, and she will love to have you out there. Well, the next thing I want to talk to you about is tomorrow is in service, and your kids may be coming home and talking to you about, we had a lockdown. We are planning a lockdown drill tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, and it's going to be a guided practice. As many of you have been with us for a long time, know how important security and emergency procedures are to us to keep your students safe the minute they step onto our campus. And it covers everything from earthquake, fire, lockdown, to the environment on our campus. We take it very serious, and we go through all of these processes. And with it being Preparedness Month, we want you to always be prepared at home also. So tomorrow, with all of our students on campus, we're going to be walking through what the code words are for a lockdown, where they're supposed to go during a lockdown, what they're supposed to do in the classroom. Tomorrow, we will not be deploying K9 Yorku. Tomorrow is just a basic walkthrough without the dog. They'll see the dog, but he's not going to be deployed to do a demo or any kind of demonstration that way. We want to use a guided practice tomorrow to take all the kids through a calm fashion of going through what a real lockdown drill looks like on campus. So we believe that's really important. As I've mentioned a couple of times, tomorrow is the in-service. That means school gets out at 11:30. So set your reminders to get here at 11:15 if you plan on picking up your students. If you don't plan on picking them up, they are welcome to go to daycare. There is no charge for daycare from 11:30 in the morning until our normal daycare pickup time at 3:15. They're welcome to stay there, and you can show up at 3:15 and pick up your child at that time and walk up and sign them out, and there'd be no charge to you. One important thing that you need to note, and I want you to tell the person sitting next to you, there is no lunch service tomorrow. So little Johnny or Sally, you need to send them with a lunch if you are not picking them up tomorrow at 11:30. It's extremely important you send them with a lunch. Now, we would never let them go hungry, but sending them with a lunch makes it a lot easier because we're not prepared. The kitchen is not open, and it would take extra things to be able to pull them together a sack lunch of some sort. So please send the students with a lunch tomorrow if they are staying. That's really important. In-service starts at 11:30, so that means that's when Carline starts, and it goes to 11:45, and then after that, students are signed into daycare. Hey, I know we had a music chapel last week, and a lot of your kids were coming home talking about getting to see the instruments and hearing things. This was from third grade on up, and they got to see all of our different music teachers. And what I did was I went through and I took a tidbit of all the different music teachers that were teaching. The only teacher who something came up every time she went on, I wasn't in to be able to film a clip, was Kathy Dyer, and she is an amazing flutist and piccolo teacher. She plays in the Philharmonic in San Bernardino, and she's widely renowned. And I didn't get a sample of her, but she's amazing, and the parents that have been with us know that. So here's a little clip of what went on last week at Music Chapel. There you have it. In less than 1 minute, you had an excellent recap of the Music Chapel that took place last week. And Music Chapel lasts about 50 minutes, and each of the teachers came up and shared a little bit about theory and the instruments that they teach. We have brass, we have strings, we have woodwinds, we have piano, we have vocal. There is something for everyone. And if your child wants to get involved in music from third grade up, it's a terrific opportunity for them. If they're below third grade, it takes a special conversation with the music teacher to see if they have an opening and if the child's mature enough to move into that. Let's hear yay for GCS music. Absolutely, Debbie. It is a great opportunity for kids to get involved. And some of our kids have gone on to be great musicians, and it's really special to see. I want to share something else with you. I like sharing success stories, and it's important for you to hear. We have been offering Spanish for a number of years, and some of our students have almost been able to go through the whole process of having Spanish each of their years here. And parents who are in junior high know we have an intensive Spanish program for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It's 5 days a week. It's a regular class. They're graded in it. And I just want to share with you, we've been getting these comments every year, but this year we received the most comments from parents of students who were going into 9th grade this last year. They were saying that their students went into Spanish 1. And remember, parents, when they leave here, we believe they've already accomplished all the basis and foundation for Spanish 1. But a lot of the kids want to go repeat Spanish 1 because it makes the class extremely easy. It's an easy A for the GPA. But the teachers that teach Spanish in the high schools quickly identify that. And let me share that with you. We had probably 9 students this year who the parents have already called back, or the students have, and said they went into Spanish 1 and they've been moved to Spanish 2 or Spanish 3 because of their fluency in Spanish. And Mrs. Gardner does an amazing job in our junior high Spanish, and every year it just gets better and better. We are hoping for this pandemic to go away, or at least some of the restrictions to be lifted, because in talking with Mrs. Garner, we have some great things in store for our Spanish classes, especially for our 8th graders and 7th. We want them to go out into the inner cities, possibly work some food lines and things like that, where the primary language is Spanish, and we want them to be able to utilize that. So parents, you need to know our Spanish program is amazing, and it's really paying huge dividends for our students. People are always surprised that our young elementary students learn Spanish. Such a great start for them. Yes, it is, Debbie. And by the time they get to junior high, they have a strong, if you started here in kindergarten, went all the way through 5th grade, you probably have at least half of the first year of a Spanish 1 high school class out of the way, and Mrs. Gardner is able to just move it up. Amanda Blythe, Kristen went through Miss Gardner's, Senora Gardner's class and was moved to Spanish 3 this year in her freshman year. We are so grateful. Amanda, thank you for sharing that. Yes, our Spanish teachers are doing a great job, as all of them, and this is something I wanted to highlight today. Next thing I want to talk to you about is field trips. Field trips are pretty unique here at Grace Christian School. They are really designed so that they enhance the learning of what's taking place in the classroom. If you're new to us, you see that field trips really progress as the students get older. In 4th grade, in 5th grade, we go to Astro Camp. In 6th grade, we have been going to Rawhide Ranch. 7th grade, we go to Catalina. And 8th grade is Washington, D.C. And each of these trips are truly amazing. Now, I want to share something really important with you. These are learning trips. And I know a lot of times parents want to go. They're not family vacations. And I feel bad saying that. But the reason I want to let you know is that when parents go on these trips with us, basically Sheriff P is deputizing you to be a deputy. And you are a chaperone to help us manage and keep our students safe when they're away from campus. And when you've been deputized and you are a chaperone, you are held to the standards of Grace Christian School and enforcing those with our students. I know each parent has different parenting techniques at home, but when we're on field trips, our students are held to the standard that is here at the school. So I just want you to remember that. If 2 parents want to go on a field trip and they're both willing to be chaperones, we love that. We think that's amazing. But we just want to remind you that the purpose of these trips are to educate all of our students, because in some situations in 4th grade, this might be the first time a student ever has been on a plane. And for some parents, it's the first time they've ever been on a plane. And in some situations, it's the first time a child has spent the night away from home. So these are real, not only educational things, but they're learning experiences for our students. So we appreciate hesitation with parents. And if you want to keep your child back, we support that. I support how you want to raise your child, and I will stand firm with you in doing that. So I just wanted to share that with you, a little bit about our field trips, and that's why sometimes we don't allow you to follow in cars and things like that. It creates liability and insurance issues, and there's just a plethora of things that it creates. So I really wanted to share that with you today. The next thing I want to talk to you about is flag retirement ceremony. Every couple years, we gather flags, and American flags, when they're tattered, torn, or no longer serviceable, they're supposed to be retired in an appropriate, respectful, and irreverent way. And we do that every couple years. We had Command Sergeant Major Baker here with individuals from the Los Alamitos Air Base and our scouts come, and we properly retired, I think, 55 flags the year before COVID took place. And it was an amazing, heartfelt event. We really talked to the students about flag retirement and what the proper way to do it is. And it was a very reverent ceremony that the kids got to see. So with that being said, if you have any flags at home that are torn up on your flagpole, or they've been hanging out and you really are like, what do we do with this? You kind of have it in a box, bring it to the school, and we're collecting those. We're trying to work out what the proper date would be to do a flag retirement ceremony this year. So rather than you try to keep all the flags at your house, we can start gathering those now. We'll properly store them and respectfully and with dignity retire those flags for our families. The next thing I kind of want to talk to you about is our Hall of Heroes. We make no bones about it. We are proud of our country. We're proud of the flag, and we are proud of our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters, and our militaries. So much so that our multi-purpose room that many refer to is what we call the Hall of Heroes. If you've been in there, there's a great big American flag. in there that was flown over one of our bases in Afghanistan. There is another flag that is folded up and in a display case that was flown over one of our bases in Iraq. And on the other wall, there are pictures of all of our family members who are either police officers, firefighters, or in the military. Now, you may ask, how do I get my family's picture up there? If you have a loved one who is a firefighter, a police officer, or in the military, send us a 5x7 picture that won't be returned, and we will happily put it in a frame, identify who the individual is, and put the picture on the wall in the Hall of Heroes. Now, if your loved one was killed in the line of duty, and they were a police officer, firefighter in the military, if you send us an 8x10 that won't be returned, we will put that up. As you see 8x10 pictures on the Hall of Heroes wall, those are individuals who gave their life for our country, either as a police officer, a firefighter, or in our military. And it really means a lot. We also have the peaceful power of government there, and whoever the president of the United States is, the governor, the senators, the assemblymen, and our council mayor and our chief of police, they're always proudly displayed in our Hall of Heroes, so children can see the democracy that we have in our country and that we should be so grateful for. So please, if you have a flag, bring it in. If you have a loved one who is in any of those groups, we'd love to display their 5x7. If they were killed in the line of duty, it's an 8x10. With that also being said, if you're someone who would like to help us refresh that room, we want to take the pictures down, put a new coat of paint up, and identify those individuals a little bit differently so it looks a lot cleaner. If you'd like to do that, volunteer and help us over a week or two project, please reach out to Christy and the office, let her know, and we will have all the supplies there. And come on in, we'll get you some donuts and coffee while you do it. And it would be a great help to us to be able to do that, because we're planning on replacing the carpet in the Hall of Heroes room, and we want to have the walls and everything done before we do that. There's one other thing that I need to talk about, and that is, what do you think? Everybody say it. It's the C word. It's COVID. There are a few things I need to talk about. Number one is, the most part, we're doing a great job of keeping our kids home when they're sick. I want to reiterate that seasonal allergies, the cold and flu season is among us, and just because a student is sneezing or coughing or has a headache or a fever doesn't mean that they have COVID. It does mean they're sick and we don't want them here at school, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have COVID. And we want your help in keeping your children home if they're sick. What that also means is, when you've registered your child, you put your home number, your phone number, your cell phone, your spouse's cell phone number, and you put emergency contacts. The reason for the emergency contacts are, if we've reached out to both parents and we're not able to get a hold of a parent because a child needs to be picked up, we go to the next person on the emergency contact to ask for assistance, either locating you or to come pick up the child. A pro tip: before you put somebody's name down on the emergency contact list, please make sure that they know that they're on the list and why you're putting them down. It really helps all the way around. I'm going to share with you a funny story that took place over the last 3 weeks. And because we've had so many kids go home over the last 3 weeks, I'm not violating the privacy of any one student. But we tried reaching out to mom, and there was no answer, so we left a message. We tried reaching out to dad. There was no answer. We tried to leave a message. We reached out to the next person on the list, and we verified who they were. Did they know the family? Yes, they did. And we went on to explain that so-and-so's here sick. We need you to come pick them up. And they said, no, thank you, and hung up the phone on us. Now, I understand if it's a person who might not be able to handle someone who's sick because they're in a situation where they can't afford to get sick. But just make sure your emergency contact people are aware of why you're putting them down and what that might entail. So I just want to share you. Kat Fortney came in. Molly tested into Spanish 2 her freshman year. Thank you, Senora Gardner. Thank you, Miss Fortney, for telling us that. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what is happening in Spanish. But Going back to our COVID and the emergency contact list, please do that. Now, I did share with you that we are able to provide COVID testing. We're working on getting all the kinks out and how we're going to do that. So number one, when we do COVID testing from now on, we're going to have you set an appointment with Christy in Christy's COVID Corner. You will come to campus and stay in your vehicle and contact us when you are here. We will then let you know when to come to the school, and we have a whole triage center set up on the back of the office now where you'll walk in and we'll do your testing. When you're done, we'll take your cell phone again and ask you to wait for the results in your vehicle, or you can go home. The reason you might wait in your vehicle here is if a child is cleared, then they're able to go back to class. But sometimes if it's a couple family members, then you might go home and we'll notify you there. And that keeps less congestion here as we're doing the testing. It keeps you safe. It keeps my staff safe as we're able to do it. We've had to come up with some criteria that we're going to follow when testing. You have to have more than one COVID symptom in order for us to test you, like a fever and a cough. And you've had to have it more than 24 hours. If you just basically develop it, we're going to wait and see if it's a seasonal allergy that goes away the next day so that we're not unnecessarily testing people. You go home, stay safe, and if you're still experiencing the symptoms or they're getting worse, contact the office and we'd love to test you. The second thing is you've been out for the second day. We will test any student who had tested positive before or feel they have it. We'll test their family also in order so the family has a sense of security and a peace of mind. The next thing is any student who might be put into the situation of a modified quarantine, we will test them as required by the health department on day 2 or 3, and then we will test them on day 7 so that they can return on day 8 if they've cleared modified quarantine. And also the final thing is if there's something special that you possibly need the test for, in a special circumstance, call Christy. We'll talk it through with her, and then at that point, we'll be able to see if we can fit you into the testing schedule. The nice thing is the antigen tests that we give are 99.9% accurate on a positive reading, and we have the results within 20 minutes. So we're very blessed that we were able to get into this program and be able to do that. If we don't feel confident with the result from an antigen, we can go to the next level and administer a PCR test, send that off, and we would have results back within 2 to 3 days. So that's kind of how COVID works. But parents, you're doing a wonderful job. We're keeping our students safe. We're doing everything that's necessary to keep our school open. I'm hearing campuses have closed and kids are going home sick, but you're doing the right thing. Our testing procedures that we've been doing here, the parents that I've tested and Christy has tested have been so wonderful to visit with and talk with, and I can't thank you enough for being willing to do it here. And also, I feel blessed that we're able to do it so you don't have to go home and go find a home test kit or go to your doctor and go where sick people are and possibly get sicker. So I'd rather test you here than put you into a compromising position. Well, that pretty much wraps up this week of Weekly Roundup. We kept it under 30 minutes. I hope you stayed through the whole show. I can't thank you enough for everybody who tuned in. We have a big audience right now. About 50 people are watching, and that is great because we shared a lot of helpful information. Don't forget, tomorrow is in service, early release at 11:30. There is no lunch, and please be safe in Carline. Use that crosswalk. That's why we have it there. We may even go to the next level of putting in flashing lights and everything like at Disneyland and delineators to get everybody to move that way. But please use the crosswalks. Yes, have a great day. I guess I will see all of you down the trails, and stay safe, and God bless each and every one of you. Happy days.
Got a $50 bill.